times
here
I
on the.
kept saying to you, run for city council, skip that whole part, just run for mayor. Just run for mayor. Yeah. Oh my gosh, we'll talk.
Good afternoon, everybody. What a distinct pleasure it is for me to, I'm not used to not being loud enough for a microphone. It's a pleasure being here. Amazing how time flies as we get to the beginning of a new year with new leadership, and I want to just welcome everyone for being here for this exciting event today. Special recognition to our great mayor that's here. I'd also like to recognize all of our former city council members who have served us well over the years. Would you just raise your hand? I see quite a few of you here as former city council members. I want to thank you for being here. It's an exciting transition to our new year here. As we begin, we've asked Gary Garrett, a former council member and former council chair, to start us with an invocation. Gary, if you'll come forward, then I'll take it after that.
Our kind Father in heaven, we're grateful for the privilege of being here together this afternoon in this ceremony. We're grateful for the freedoms we enjoy, for our great country, for the leadership of both those here locally who serve as volunteers, but also for the many employees of Provo City that make this such a wonderful place to live. We're grateful for efforts that have gone into this ceremony today and pray that we will have thy blessings to be with us. And we pray also for thy guidance and direction for all of those who will serve as appointed leaders and council members, for our mayor and all of those who work with him, that they can be influenced not only by those in this community, but also led by thee and thy hand in all of their work and labors. We express gratitude again to thee for our freedoms, for thy goodness and the bounty that we enjoy in our city. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
And thank you, Mr. Garrett. It's now my privilege to introduce our flag ceremony presentation by a joint honor guard of the Provo Police and the Fire Department. They will be joined by the Provo High School Chamber Singers as they will sing the national anthem. We'll turn the time over to would someone just open the door there for them?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Would you join me in giving them a round of applause for that? Thank you. It is my pleasure now to introduce the main purpose of our program today, which is the swearing in of our council members. I'll invite Judge Romney of the Provo Justice Court to come forward. I'll then invite each of our council members in order as it's printed here on the program, starting with Gary Winterton, David Connect, Kay Van Buren, David Harding, and then George Stewart. Judge.
Thank you. Each those come up individually as called in that order. Thank you. Do you have family that you'd like to have?
At least my wife.
Sure. Great.
Honey, will you come up? Vicki? I have other family members here, but this one's very important to me.
Great. Please raise your right hand. I, please state your name,
I, Gary Winterton,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties
and I will discharge the duties
of my office
of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity. Thank you very much, Judge.
Do you have someone?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand. I, and repeat your name,
I, David Connect,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Please raise your right hand. I, and repeat your name,
I, Kay Van Buren,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties
and that I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of my office with fidelity.
Please raise your right hand. I, and repeat your name,
I, David Philip Harding,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties
and that I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of my office with fidelity.
Wife there? Get the Bible?
Great. If you'll hold that, and then you'll place your hand in and then raise your. I state your name.
I, George Owen Stewart,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties
and I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
with my office with fidelity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, council members. Welcome. When I was invited to be the MC, they allowed me to share a couple of my favorite just thoughts about community and neighborhood. And anybody that knows me, that I'm a passionate advocate of neighborhood. And so I just wanted to read just a couple brief notes out of one of my favorite books. It's well tattered, called The Abundant Community. That kind of just sets maybe the tone for what's about to head this next 2 years. This possibility of more satisfaction through creating something with those around us is idealistic, yet is within our grasp. The idea that creating a better community is an idealistic idea, but it's possible. Finishing off, he talks in the book about the idea of an abundant community, or some call a beloved community, which certainly I think is our community, that this idea reminds us of our power to create and full, complete life. It assures us that when we join together with our neighbors, we are the architects of the future that we want to live with. Such a future is made possible through the untapped abundance of every community. So I am thrilled and proud to be a part of a very abundant community with leadership who sees an abundant, the glass is half full, that we can make a better world around us just thrills me, and I'm thrilled to be a part of that. If I can this time invite the mayor to give some remarks. Following the mayor's remarks, I'd like to give each council member who was just sworn in 2 or 3 minutes to share a couple of their thoughts. And we'll do that once again in the order that they were sworn in today. So, Mayor?
Thank you, Bill. Thank you for all you do for our community. I'm pleased to take just a moment, and I'd like to share a couple of quick thoughts with you. First of all, I'm pleased that so many family members are here, and may I express our appreciation on behalf of the city for your willingness to support these council members in their service, and through a campaign. I know that's no small thing, and so thank you for your willingness to do that. I'm grateful for every council member that I've had a chance to work with. I can think back on every one of them and think of special memories and experiences and lessons that I have learned by being associated with them. And yet this council is unique. It brings one thing to the table that the others have not, and that's a wealth of experience. Interestingly, every election that I've been involved with up to this one has been a complete turnover in council seats. And we've started with new, energetic members. And this council brings a wealth of experience that I'm looking forward to working with. So to each of you, thank you for this opportunity to work with you. I'm looking forward to it. And we have a lot to do, so let's get started and get it done. Thank you.
This is an amazing experience for me. I had the opportunity to do this 4 years ago, but it still thrills me. Thank you for being here and for supporting us. Especially would like to start off by thanking a few people. Vicki, my wife, thank you very much. Bronco Mendenhall said the only thing harder than being a head coach at BYU is being the wife of a head coach. I think that my wife understands that. I'm grateful for her patience. Our family reunions, I have left at times to go beyond the telephone at meetings. I have left our dates at a short period of time. I'm grateful for her support, for her patience, for her understanding. I'm grateful for my family members who are willing to support me, and despite sometimes we disagree, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for Mayor Curtis and the administration that he has, and the department heads who are so willing to work with us and help us understand what we are trying to accomplish together in this community. I'm thankful for council members who I've served with. I'm thankful for especially the group that has just left. I have learned so much. Hal Miller, Gary Garrett, Callie Hales, and Stephen Hales. I will work to continue your legacy, and I'm grateful for what you have done for me. I am very excited for the opportunity to work with Kay, with Kim, with George, and Dave. This is going to be a unique. You think it was hard with 2 Garys on the council, 3 Daves. This is going to be unique. I want to close by just telling you a story that happened to me a couple months ago. As I was in Los Angeles, we had a family reunion. My wife and I were at Santa Monica Beach, and we were walking to the car because I guess we were the slowest. And when I turned around, I saw my 3 children and their spouses and my 6 grandchildren. I looked at the setting sun and at them as they come forward. I thought, this is perfect. This is ideal. Well, 2 months ago, that vision of perfection changed just a little bit. I had another granddaughter a few weeks ago. That picture that I had in my mind is perfect, but things changed. It's not quite as perfect because I love this little Willa. And I'm grateful for her. I just turned 60 years old last week. I don't know if I should be admitting that or not, but I did. And there's nothing I can do about it. But when I was born at the Utah Valley Hospital, there were 35,000 people in Provo. Today there's 118,000, 120. And by 2060, we will be close to 180,000 people. We will change. I hope as a council that we will do the things that we need to do to prepare ourselves for that change. It is inevitable. I hope we will have the courage to accept that, to recognize that things will change no matter what we do. I hope we also have the wisdom to make the right decisions to prepare ourselves so that Provo can be a great community. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Provo means a lot to me, and I'm grateful for the trust that you have placed in each of us. Thank you.
So I guess I have my choice of microphones here. Usually these don't work. I appreciate everyone that's come. I appreciate my wife supporting me during the campaign, and I know that she'll be patient for the next 4 years. Like Gary said, it's a lot of time invested, and you don't have a lot of personal time. You use your vacation time for meetings, and it's quite the commitment. It's not a part-time job, even though that's the way it's advertised. Provo is a great place, and I'm pleased to be able to be on the city council again. It was 10 years ago this week that I left, and I took the time to raise my boys, put them on missions, and now that they're grown up, and with Hal Miller not rerunning, I saw a vacancy, and I've served so many years as a neighborhood chair and just like being of service to the community. So I even put on my campaign flyer what my last name means in German, and it means servant. And I said, I'd like to be your public servant again. When people ask in our meetings, what do you think, Dave? I have to pause because it's not really so much what I think, it's what is good for Provo and what my constituents think. And it's so important that we stay in touch and talk to each other, even if we have differing opinions. Usually it is the one that disagrees with you that you will remember the conversation the most. And I appreciate the council that we have, and I hope that we can discuss everything and come to reasonable decisions for the best and good of Provo. Thank you again for coming, and I look forward to the next 4 years.
I'm grateful to be here. I want to say thank you to a lot of people, so thank you, a lot of people. My wife and family particularly. I'd like to just share a few lessons that I've learned in the 4 years serving. I've learned that there's some very good people in the city. In our community, there's the citizens, the neighborhood programs, and all the efforts that go there. There's some very good people who work in the city. Our department directors, all the employees have it's just had a wonderful relationship with those people these 4 years. And I've come to really love and appreciate what goes on here in the city. And it's been so good. Just the neighbors in the city, I've learned that they are very good. Very good city with some very good people. I've learned that Provo is a very safe community. And I want to just mention the emergency responders, that they are great. They have the concern of our community and each individual. And they put themselves on the line every day for us, and I want to say thank you to them. I also have learned that governmental processes sometimes are not very easy, that decisions are not always easy. And sometimes it is really hard and it's gut-wrenching to make decisions because it affects people's lives. I also have learned that you're not always right. Even though you think you are, you're not always right. I've learned that service on the council has let me personally develop some very great friendships that will always be a blessing in my life. And I want to thank those people. I want to thank past council members who've served with, for their counsel to me, for their direction, their example, and some of the discussions we've had. As the council moves forward, I'm hopeful there will be new lessons learned. I believe personal responsibility is the basis of self-government. I believe the family is the fundamental unit of our society. I believe religion is the moral compass of our progress. I believe private property is the cornerstone of economic freedom. I believe that free markets are the engine of economic prosperity. And I believe that limited government is the essence of good government. I look forward to serving the next 4 years. I hope we can continue to make Provo a light on the hill, an example to the rest of our state and nation. Thank you.
Well, I have far less experience than some of those who have spoken before me. I have learned one lesson, though, that it's not fun to speak after Kay. We've done this a couple times on the debates, and often he takes the words right out of my mouth. I do appreciate the community that we live in. We live in a special community, and I just turned around and we've got an overflow crowd here. Thank you very much for everyone who has come to support us. It is often a very messy process, and it's nice to get dressed up once in a while and have everyone smiling for these ceremonies, because the hard work is about to begin. We live in a very special community, and it's because of the people that are here. It is the people in Provo that make Provo a special place to be. I'm grateful for our neighbors, our citizens. I'm grateful for the city employees and staff and our first responders, as Kay mentioned just before me. I am grateful for my wife, for her sacrifices, and for the support of my family and neighbors. I love our community. I was not planning on, being a public servant. It's just something that has evolved through wanting to be involved and wanting to help out where I can. And at this time, it seems like this is the best place that I can get involved and help the community. It's not under ideal circumstances. Our district shouldn't be having an election for another 2 years. But we make the most of what we're dealt with, and that's where we're at tonight. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your support. We will make mistakes. We will be wrong even when we think that we're right and we're moving forward, but know that we're doing the best we can. I think that's one special thing about Provo is people are involved even when we have differing opinions. It's because we care so much about the community. So thank you. We will need your support in the future. Support us by telling us that we're wrong when you feel that we're wrong, and support us by helping us when you think that we're right, and giving us understanding even when you feel that we're wrong. Thank you. Love you all, and look forward to serving all of you.
It's kind of surreal to be here again. I'm going to be specific in my thanks because I wouldn't be here without the work of some special people. First of all, I'd like to thank my Father in heaven. The Stewart line hasn't lived long. My dad died in his early 50s. My grandfather died in his early 60s. I didn't expect to be here. I'm 76. And I'll be 80 when I finish this term. And I plan on finishing this term. I plan on being here. So I'm really thankful that he allowed me, my Father in heaven allowed me to be here and to serve again. Of course, I'm thankful for my wife, the mother of our 11 children, and we now have 47 grandchildren. And she's taken the bulk of the effort in raising the children because, we're busy as men often doing other things. And I'd also like to thank my children, many who are here, and grandchildren, for what they've done, for what they've been to me in my life. Then I'm going to thank some individual people. I'm going to take a little extra time to do this because I wouldn't be here without them. I ran my other 2 campaigns pretty much myself, but I wasn't able to do that this time because of probably my situation in life and our financial situation. But the council members have supported me, and actually the ones that got me to run. Kim Santiago, Dave Connect, who was a candidate at the time and personal sacrifice to support me because I'm sure it cost me some votes. David Sewell, Kay Van Buren, and Kelly Hales. I had some state legislators and state senators that were supporting me also. I won't name them, but we had 3 campaign directors. We ran this campaign on a shoestring compared to prior citywide campaigns. I don't know if most of you understand that when you run citywide, you need to campaign through the whole city. There are 3 offices, 2 city council seats, and the mayor. And we represent 1 in 26 Utahns in our office that we have. So I'd like to thank Diane Christensen, Cindy Richards, and Sherry Spencer. We were communicating almost daily since June, and they worked their hearts out for this campaign. We had 348 neighborhood captains. I'd like to just mention a few of those that gave extra special effort. John Breeding, who's here, Linda Roper, Jordan Tanner, Carl and Susan Mitchell, David and Carolyn Wright, and Richard Pratt. There are many others. This was really hard, but I couldn't take an hour to list all 348. And then I'd like to also thank those that helped me financially. We ran this campaign at 28% of what was spent by my opponent. It shows you, ladies and gentlemen, that you can run a grassroots campaign. It doesn't have to be dependent on just spending a lot of money. I know some of us in the campaign were concerned that we weren't doing enough, but when you have the kind of support we had with the public, then it makes a huge difference. I'd just like to read something that I read in 1996. No, excuse me, that was 206 when I last ran for office. I share the concerns that Elder Dallin H. Oates, a former Bay Area president and Utah Supreme Court justice, expressed during a devotional address at Brigham Young University. His first concern was what he described as an overemphasis on rights and an underemphasis on responsibilities. I'm with Kay in what Kay said. Appreciate your comments, Kay. We must strengthen our sense of individual responsibility for the welfare of others and the good of society at large, rather than worrying about our own individual rights and needs. The Me First syndrome is the opposite of Elder Oaks' counsel that our concern should be the welfare of others and the good of society at large. And when we talk about zoning, ladies and gentlemen, it's really often property rights versus the need of the community, the need of the neighborhood. And that's one of my emphases is we need the enforcement so our neighborhoods can stay healthy, can grow and develop. Anyway, I love you all. I love the opportunity I have again to serve, and thanks again.
I'm happy to say that I'm extremely proud to be a citizen of this great city, and I'm extremely proud to have such great leadership leading this great city. So thank you to all of you for your devotion and leadership for this next 4 years. Would you join me for one more round of applause for these great new leaders? We will have about the next 45 or 50 minutes a chance to individually greet our council members. There's some reception food out here, and then at 4:30 they'll begin back here in a closed session. So thank you all for joining us, and congratulations again to our leadership. Thank you.